Chuck Schumer pointed out that what Mitch McConnell wants is, quote, granting sweeping immunity to corporations who put their workers in harm's way during the pandemic. That's what Mitch McConnell wants. He thinks Donald Trump should be able to bring any frivolous lawsuit he wants, no matter how abusive of judicial process, but he does not think that those workers in that meatpacking plant in Iowa that Rachel reported on, who were dying from COVID-19, should have the right to sue that company where the managers in that plant were actually betting on how many of those workers would get COVID-19. In Mitch McConnell's America, you don't get to sue an employer who recklessly and willfully injures you, kills you. You don't get to sue for wrongful death for that in Mitch McConnell's America. Donald Trump gets to sue any state he wants if the people in that state voted against Donald Trump. Steve Schmidt's words explaining all of this are certainly worth repeating one more time, and perhaps many more times after tonight. The Republican Party is an organized conspiracy for the purposes of maintaining power for self-interest and the self-interest of its donor class. There is no fidelity to the American ideal or American democracy. Leading off our discussion tonight is Steve Schmidt, a former Republican strategist and co-founder of the Lincoln Project. He is an MSNBC political analyst. And Steve, your words, I want to make them the wallpaper behind me of this show, because what I constantly get outside of this show when people talk to me is that they always want to know why. Why is this happening? Why is Mitch McConnell doing this? Why doesn't Mitch McConnell have people in Kentucky who need help? Why is he doing this? And your explanation yesterday stopped me in my tracks, as I said here last night. And it does seem to explain everything that we're talking about in terms of what Washington Republicans were up to today, both with the Supreme Court and with the refusal to move on COVID relief.
Well, you saw it coming this summer, Lawrence, the astounding moment when the Republican platform became nothing more than a loyalty oath to Donald Trump, an oath of obedience, complete obedience to Trump. That's what the Republican platform was. Not even a pretense of policy issues or ideas in it. And so today's a historic day. And I know that sometimes in the instant analysis culture of fast-moving events, we can overstate the importance of an event in the context of the moment and say that this is a meaningful event in history. Sometimes it's obvious. On September 11th, right? For sure, you could say on that day that was a meaningful event in American history. It was a before and after moment. Today was a before and after moment in the life of the nation. 106 members of Congress broke faith with American democracy today. They did something the fascists, the Nazis, the Confederate Army was unable to do. They forced a majority of elected officials of one of the two major parties in a federal house broke faith with the idea that the people are sovereign, that we're a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Democracy definitionally requires one side being willing to lose an election, to accept the results, to come back the next time in the competition of ideas. And so what we saw today, this breaking of faith, which followed the poisoning of faith and belief in the system, the American system, the American Republic, which has endured since 1776. It was poisoned this month, faith and belief in it. And we're going to live with this now for all the balance, certainly, of our lives, Lawrence, because the competition in American politics is now between a Democratic Party, meaning a party that believes in democracy, versus an autocratic party. And we've never seen that. When you see that many members of Congress breaking faith with their oath to overturn an election because they don't like a result, we're off the reservation to a place that we might not be able to get back on it from. And so it's a very worrying moment. And what it means is now we're one election away from losing the country to people who no longer believe in democracy.
Steve, in the words of Monty Python,